What's going on, boys? Today we're talking about a few things, but we'll start with The Godfather and typology. The Godfather Parts 1 and 2 illustrate portraits of INFJs I like and realistic uses of their functions, and INTJs I really don't like, again with realistic uses of their functions. Veto is the two sides of FE at their highest level. On one hand, you have the cultivation of unity and harmony, the way you would expect FE to operate if you were just reading its kinder descriptions, down to receiving his dumb Palooka's thank you for inviting him to his wedding and being in his service, etc., and appreciating it. Not just allowing it, but appreciating it. It really is a beautiful side of FE. And then you have FE's other, uglier, power FE side. FE is not exactly or inherently nice at all. Veto knows when and how to make which people hurt the worst way possible to get what he wants. He is more than happy to brutalize anyone who does not subscribe to his version of harmony. He'll make someone a generous offer. If they choose not to accept it, he will make them an offer they cannot refuse. An FI type might look at someone's refusal, try to see it from their perspective, maybe put their values over their own, and then make a decision according to that FI reflection. That doesn't always happen, but you will see that way more often with FI types than you will with FE types. Once someone has refused Veto's version of harmony and now threaten his plans, there is no mercy. And he is superb at picking out people who do not subscribe to his version of harmony. His son makes one little protest during the drugs meeting. Veto instantly sees what just happened and what it will lead to, and then, in no uncertain terms, says that does not happen again. You have the next big drugs meeting, post what happens, if you haven't seen The Godfather. No spoilers. He leaves the meeting with no hard evidence, certain of who did what and why they did it, and he's right. And then, later, more interesting in my opinion, he doesn't know who the troublemaker is, but he knows exactly how to identify the troublemaker by social moves alone. And he lays it out in such a way anyone can pick up that scope or that lens and figure it out. He is so good at reading people in social situations, he can not only do it, but he can provide that information for someone else to use. Not just facts, but also a method by which to obtain facts. Methods and facts that will be used to kill people, their reasoning and livelihoods be damned, because they aren't playing his game. All while continuing to love his family and his people, and trying to be fair, generous, and reasonable pretty much at all times, according to his reasoning. Veto is a realistic depiction of a high-end INFJ, and if you are interested in INFJs, he's worth studying. And then you have Michael, INTJ. Michael is not representative of all INTJs, but he is a realistic depiction of the way INTJs use their functions, specifically in not the best ways, and in my experience, the higher end of the way most INTJs I've met operate. Vito controls using love and harmony for people in his family and people who play ball with him, and merciless social calculations for people who do not play ball. But Vito does not overdo or play up the fear and violence angle of his mercilessness. If you play ball, it's love and appreciation. It's community, it's family. If you don't play ball, it's just a shame. You want to cooperate with Vito even though there is an implicit threat hanging over your head. Vito is implicit. Michael is explicit. Michael's first move upon taking control of the family is to reorganize everyone according to his strategies, everyone else be damned. And there isn't any sympathy, empathy, or compassion when he does this. In fact, Vito has to cushion the move because it's so abrupt and so emotionally careless. But it's not careless. It's performative. It's not a changing of the guard, it is a seizing of control, and his abruptness and coldness in doing it the way he does it communicates a message, an unspoken message. I'm the one in charge, this is how I'll be doing things, and it's your job to adjust, not my job to care. And once Michael is in charge, he wields this iron-fisted control through parts 1 and 2. And he doesn't just wield this iron-fisted control, he projects it and organizes movements to keep that iron-fisted control in reality and in others' perceptions. Specifically that iron-fisted control. Specifically not any other form of control. Vito controls by playing what is and appears to be a loving sort of game. That violence and evil are there, but those aren't what he is selling you or trying to project on you. Michael, on the other hand, wants people to be afraid, and he inflicts his abrasiveness on people to let them know he's in control. I.e., I can act this way, and you will act that way because you are afraid. Now, this behavior might sound like ENTJ stuff, but I've found ENTJs are less concerned with the projection of force and fear. As in, an ENTJ might be doing the exact same things Michael or an INTJ is doing, but they are more focused on getting the results by any means, by whatever means. Fear and force in or over others might be an effect of their actions, but the image is never the focus, and it is almost never the method in and of itself. People might end up intimidated by an ENTJ. You end up scared of them in their pursuit of their goals. Michael or INTJs, in my experience, my observations, are more inclined to make you afraid of them to pursue their goals. For INTJs, fear is the motor in the water, not the waves in the wake. Between ENTJs and INTJs, you'll see many of the same things, but they come from a different place. If you've studied typology for any amount of time, you have probably encountered one of the many INTJs who enters the room and tries to control it with their attitude and nothing else. In contrast, an INFJ controls the room by creating what appears to be a happier option and then turning everyone who took that happier option against the people who didn't. An ENTJ controls the room by kicking the shit out of people, whatever form that takes, proactively, first, from the outset. The INTJ threatens to kick the shit out of you or wants you to think they can kick the shit out of you, whatever form that takes, without actually doing it. And it might come to kicking the shit out of you, but they tend to value the fear more than the action, which is personally agitating to me, kind of side note, kind of primary note, because they can feel high off themselves without ever having to back up their threats, unless someone calls them on it, which might be the point for me. High-end INTJs and low-end INTJs diverge. You can tell the difference between an INTJ who has had their bluff called and lost and one who hasn't. The former is a lot less common, but also a lot cooler and easier to deal with, in my experience. The latter is a lot more common and is not easy, fun, or productive to deal with. But we will cut things off here for now. Vito is a pretty true-to-life portrayal of high-end INFJs I've met, and Michael is a pretty true-to-life portrayal of low-end or bad INTJs I've met. They are good movies, and they are both worth studying if you are interested in typology. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. I thought I was going to talk about some life stuff in this video, but it is slipping through my fingers like sand. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. What do you think about the movies, the characters, or the types? Let me know. But thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact, the fun can slip through your fingers like sand. That's how much fun we have on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.